who you are as a loving person. It was for me. So the next question is, how can you prevent the need to stand up for yourself? Because you don't have to. You can just walk away. I tell this to my kids all the time. When they come to me with problems, I'm like, you have two choices. You can ignore them or walk away. But mom, you can ignore them or walk away. The power is always in your hands. Okay. So just want to throw this out there because I know there's a lot of you that are like, but I have to stand up for myself. Okay, you do. But at what cost? And what does it mean? Okay. The next couple of questions, and this is all just to kind of see where you are at after your boundary has been violated. This is a way to check in, okay, with your mindset, your beliefs, with your emotions, okay? Do you ever expect others to please you? I used to, and sometimes I do, right? Like we forget, we get into this habit of like, I just want him to say yes, right? And you want others to do stuff for you, even if they don't want to. You see where I'm going with this? So I don't want to force people to do things when they don't want to, right? I used to always say, I don't want to tell him what to do. I just want him to want it. Right? We just, right? I don't want to tell people to do it and then do it just halfway or do it in a bad mood, right? We don't want to force people to do things. We don't want people to that's why when we set up boundaries, we don't set up boundaries to try to control people. We're not telling them what to do. We're just telling them what we will do. Okay. And then why do you feel like you have the need to follow up after a boundary has been ignored or violated? Because most of the times we feel the need, we need to follow up because we like, I have to stand up for myself. He needs to understand what he did was wrong, right? We're playing the persecutor role in the drama triangle. We're wanting to be right at all costs. We're trying to be demanding and controlling over other people's lives. This might not be you, but I'm just saying that's what usually tends to happen when we have that need to follow up. Unless you come from love, which is the next thing that we're going to talk about. What do you expect will happen when you choose to talk about it, when you do the follow up? And this, again, this is also, you can see where you are at after your boundary has been violated. Are you reacting to the trauma? Are you reacting to the trigger? Or are you in control of yourself and you're responding based on your values? I want you to find all these questions are so you can kind of gauge where you are at after your boundary has been violated. Okay. So usually, if you are feeling angry and frustrated and resentful, then you are reacting from a flight, fight, or freeze. So you're most likely in the fight response of your trauma response, right? That's where you are. So what will happen is when we're trying to fight, the other person is going to want to fight back. And we got ourselves a war where there's always going to be a winner and a loser. We don't want that in a relationship. We want all to be winners and we don't want wars. We want to have conversations. We want to improve our communications. And you don't talk in war. Okay. So what do you think will happen if you follow up? What are you expecting the result? Are you expecting Are you expecting them to change? Because then you're going into your manuals. You're trying to control them again. And when we try to control people, what people tend to do is they put their walls up and they close off. Or are you expecting it? Are you trying to follow up because you love them and you want to validate their feelings, and you want to validate your feelings, and you want to resolve this and come up with a solution so you can both be heard, valued, and appreciated and understood and seen in the relationship? Do you want the result of this follow-up to be an opportunity to learn about this person and his triggers, and maybe help him understand his triggers? Or is it all about you? Are you doing the follow-up so expecting that to be heard and seen and valued? Or are you doing the follow-up expecting to understand, to listen, to understand? And how will you feel? What are you expecting to feel once you follow up? Because sometimes we have expectations on what people will do. And these are manuals. And when we have manuals, we are going to end up feeling disappointed and frustrated. So just notice what you're expecting, what you're thinking around the follow-up after the boundary. Is it just so you can get your word? Is it just so you can feel seen or heard? Because you can do that on your own without you having to talk to the other person. You can validate yourself. You can choose to feel seen, heard, and loved without anyone around you, by just changing the way you think about yourself and about the situation. Okay, so then, let's say now that you know where you're coming from, now that you have gotten to the point where, okay, I'm not acting from my triggers. I'm not reacting. I'm coming from a neutral place. Then you can talk. And how you know that you're in a neutral place is when you don't assume anymore. When you're not assuming what the other person is going to say, when you're actually just curious. I wonder what he's going to say. If you're already going into the conversation thinking, oh, he's probably going to get mad and he's probably going to say this and that, then you're not in a neutral place. You need to back off before you can have this conversation. Do a brain dump and just get it all out. Get all the ideas that you think he's going to say, all the things get it all out so you can be seen, be heard, right? And then see if that helps. Do it for like 10 minutes and see if that helps you get it all out. So then you can get yourself to a neutral place where you can be curious. I wonder what he's going to say when we have this conversation. So the next thing I wanted to share is how you can go and have these conversations with this person, right? Because once you want to follow up, and maybe you don't have to. Maybe after you did all this work, you don't need to follow up. Maybe you're good to go, right? Maybe you're like, okay, I'm done. I think that was good. We had our conversation. I got this, right? So now that you do that, I want you to, there's a few things that you need to go over before you can get yourself there, before you can address the violation, right? Like I said, get yourself to a neutral place. And that is done. You can do breath work, you can do meditation, you can do journaling, you can choose to start, you can look at all the positive things, all the things that you're thankful for about this person. These are some things that you can do to get yourself to a neutral place. It would be ideal if you can get to a loving place, but that might be stretching it. I know you're like, what? I can't love this person right now. They just violated and crossed the boundary I had set. Okay. You can, that would be awesome. If you can't get there, get to a neutral place where you're vibrating at a higher frequency. So you're more likely, you're closer to being open-minded. So acceptance and being neutral is really close. It's closer to being more accepting and opening your mind up to something different, to see things in a different way. That's why I want you to get to a neutral place. Because if you are vibrating at a low vibration frequency of anger, resentment, shame, and guilt, and all that, then you're closed off. And guess what? When you confront this person, when you talk to your spouse, they're going to shut down. Yep. Or they're going to react to match your frequency. Okay. So that's why it's so important to know, to get yourself to a neutral place. And then I want you to drop the need to be right. Get out of the persecutor role in the drama triangle and get into the creating, right? Where you are in control of yourself by allowing yourself to just be proved wrong. Like, drop the need to be right. Okay. And you can do this by asking the other person, what can you tell me how I am wrong? And this is where you get to be the active listener. Okay. This is where you get to really listen, by listening with all your senses. What are they feeling? What do you think they're thinking? What do you think they're doing right now? How are they, like, try to really listen, okay, to what they're trying to tell you. And this is where you're growing. You're both growing. You're giving a platform for your spouse to just share how they feel without being judged. What a beautiful thing that can be for you guys. So tell me why you are right. Tell me why I am wrong. Because again, there's 3 ways to look at a story. There's your way, his way, and there's the truth. Okay. So all we're doing is we're just listening to them. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong. Again, we're not making it mean anything. We're just listening to what they're trying to tell us. Because I guarantee in their mind, they're right. In their mind, they didn't do anything wrong. I guarantee most of the times. Sometimes, yeah, they messed up, and they'll tell you, right? They'll be like, okay, I messed up. Okay. So ask, how am I wrong? Right? How am I wrong? Please tell me your side of the story, what you think happened. I want to know. And then simplify to the facts. Okay. So pick up the facts from what he's telling you. And if you need pen and paper, go for it. And then find things that you agree on while he's telling you the story. Find what you can agree on from his story. Oh, I can see that. I also got, I escalated the things. Yeah, I can see that. You don't need to agree with everything. I just want you to find things that you can agree on while he's telling you the story. Okay. And then find out, like, together, find things that you can agree on. Can we agree on that this ended poorly? Can we agree on that we need to work on our communication? Can we agree on having a better Christmas next year? Can we agree on having a better relationship with each other so it's best for the entire family? What can you both agree on? Okay, find a common ground. And then what can you both agree on? And then the next step is just talk solutions. Find a solution that you both agree on and stop talking about the problem. That's the thing. Like, we tend to want to keep talking about it